Me and Dan
Hey,
can
guys.
talk about something. Unless Dan wants to go real quick too.
No, I'm good.
Okay, well, while he's off doing that, we can talk about something. Really what I would like to talk about, definitely is, like, price points dropping like hell. I mean, what was that one day, that Mankind Divided went down to $39.99 or something that one day?
Yeah.
Right now it's at $43.88, but I was just like, what in the hell is going on with these prices?
Well, again, it's like we were saying, quantity over quality. They're not people. They don't make a game to last anymore. The old time games, 8-bit, 16-bit. I'll even say the next generation after that. Games were made to last because you spent a good amount of money on them. They wanted you to keep playing them. There was no DLC. There was no sequel that came out the next year. It was, okay, here's a game. Now play it, until your fingers bleed. And people got their money's worth. Nowadays, it's like, okay, like we were saying, I beat this game in 20 hours. I'm ready for the next one. There was no, wow, I want to go back and play that again. There was nothing like that. And I really think that's a big reason that stuff doesn't hold its value, is because, it's literally not worth it. It doesn't have the replayability. It doesn't have the intense hook, that they used to have. And people are realizing that. And a lot of people aren't, they're not willing to pay what the new games are going for.
Well, I think some of that has to do with everyone's big pile of shame, too. You know what that means, right?
Big pile of shame.
Big pile of
No
shame.
Man's Sky?
Big pile of shame means people who have very large video game collections but barely play, like, even half of it.
Says the man with the video game wall of
That's what I'm saying. I have a big pile of shame. That's why I said I can also understand it. I would think that some has to do with that. Well, some people, I get the idea. It's tough to play really long. I love Japanese RPGs. Older Japanese RPGs usually go up to 60 hours, and stuff on the PS2 to now usually averaged out more between 30, 40 hours long length. Unless it was Disgaea. Then it was like your entire life.
Yeah, but see, also having a lot of content doesn't always mean a good game. There are tons of games out there with enormous lists of side quests and
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it automatically means it's good. I'm just saying that...
fetch quests.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I enjoy RPGs, and it's hard to play a lot of them when I don't have as much time anymore when it comes to the console, which, like I was telling Carda before one time, that's why I really think a lot of the good RPGs when it comes to Japanese ones are really on handhelds, because that's basically how Japan's market is these days. While they're not dying console-wise, it certainly has gone down in sales.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I kind of want to just get away from consoles. I really do. But the PC is just a completely different beast, and it's got its own problems. So I don't know. Whoa. Sorry, trying to do two things at once here.
Okay, keep the thought, guys. I'm back, so if you don't mind, I'll just click start recording and start the second section.
Go ahead.
Sure.
We were just kind of talking about one of the topics I wanted to talk about, which I'm not sure if you've noticed a lot, Carter, because I know you're more heavier on PC, and you usually just play any Japanese RPGs you're interested in on console if it doesn't have a PC version planned. I do thrifting on Saturdays, and I do a lot online checking out of deals too, and I can't help but notice how so many things prices have been dropping really fast, even when they're brand new. Like when the new Mirror's Edge came out, it always was having $39.99 sales like after 2 weeks, and even Mankind Divided had a few price drops here. It's at $43 right now online, but I even saw it go down to $39.99 after, I think, about 2 weeks for a short amount of time. And you got Battleborn keeps being one of the most crazy fluctuating things I've seen on a console in a long while. Goes from 60 to 39 to 29 to 39 to 19.99 to 39 to 29. That thing can't even make up its freaking mind. I mean, just so many brand new games are just losing their value. And just today on Cheap Ass Gamer, the newest Star Ocean is currently at $27.41 on Amazon right now, Day 1 edition. That thing's been dropping since it came out.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. Some games just become cheap very, very quick.
I mean, even really good stuff like Bloodborne went down cheap too when it was new. It just amazes me how quickly a lot of stuff's prices have been going.
I didn't notice Bloodborne drop real quick. I'm still upset we didn't get the Game of the Year edition for that in America.
Yeah, I had to import that for a pretty penny too.
I'm sure.
But Bloodborne went down to $39.99, and it stayed at that for quite a while. Right now, you can get for $14 on Amazon.
Huh.
But it's mostly been standardized at $19.99 at this point.
Well, yeah, by now it's an older game.
I just The Last of Us Remastered's going for $12.95 on Amazon right now, and I even saw the newest Uncharted went down too. Let's see if I can. Uncharted 4 is at $39.99.
I can't say much for Uncharted because I haven't played it. I played the first 3, didn't beat. I beat the first one, didn't beat the other 2, but I still say that the reason they're not lasting is because they're just not the quality that they used to be.
Don't get me on some of the limited edition stuff. I remember the Doom Collection edition went back up, but I remember it went down to like $40 for the Doom Collector's Edition at one time on Amazon. I was just like, shit, I was almost half tempted to buy it.
I think collector's editions are kind of weird anyway. I mean, I love Deus Ex, but look at the Deus Ex Collector's Edition and the pre-order crap that went on with that. It was so ridiculous, and again, I think people are starting to realize...
With Divided?
Yeah, what'd I say?
I just heard Deus Ex. I didn't acknowledge whether you said Human or Divided.
Well, no, the last one that came out, Mankind Divided, the pre-order bonus and the limited edition with that were just so ridiculous. And I don't, half the stuff that you get is just like, why would I be interested in this stuff? Really, okay, a soundtrack, cool, I like a soundtrack, but the rest of it's almost throwaway stuff.
See a steel case, art book, a figure of the character, hardcover box.
That's the $130 version, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too much for my taste. And it's like Dan said, all the pre-order bonuses and stuff you get, it's all. I cannot touch it. It's all digital stuff,
Yeah, see, I like it. I like it for physical stuff.
Yeah, if there's an edition for €10 more that offers a nice booklet and a steel case and stuff, extra stuff. I like that more than to pay $10 extra for
Yeah.
a soundtrack or a digital art book. Well, I don't want a digital art book. I will never. It's so much going digital, and indeed for the latest DSX, what they gave extra for the pre-order bonus was just it was nonsense. So it was nothing interesting.
Now I can't verify this because I haven't used it yet. Did you get the day one edition of Mankind Divided, Carda, with the extra stuff?
Yeah, I bought the game a week ago on the PC, and it was the day one edition that I bought, so I got the extra stuff. Yeah.
Do you have a day one edition of a digital download?
I don't know, but I've heard that the day one editions download. First of all, they give you a sampler of the soundtrack, which is ridiculous. But I've heard that it's all, except for maybe the soundtrack, I've heard it's all single-use items. Like, okay, you get a new outfit or a new gun or something.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
I've heard that from multiple people.
Yeah, that's the new trend. Yeah, that's the new trend. You start a game and you go to the inventory and you have a button and that says storage. And in the storage are the DLC items you got as extra. And there's a gun in it, but I'm playing as pacifist, so I don't need the gun. Then there's 1,000 credits and 1 Praxis kit. And okay, you can import those items into your inventory, but if you start a new game and you open the storage again, those items are gone because you already took them out of storage. So indeed, basically they're just like the DLCs, microtransaction stuff. It's one-time use, and if you've taken it out of your storage, you cannot get it for a new game. So if you have the gun from the storage in your first playthrough, you won't have the gun in your second playthrough.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
See, when it comes to the collector edition things, like Carter was saying, I usually go for like the ones that are just like $10 or $12 more. I don't know if I ever bought any of the collector's editions that went over $100 without them being on some kind of overstock sale or something. I very rarely, like, probably one of the recent times I considered that was the Last Guardian one. I was like, oh, I want that, but it's too fucking much. It's too much. And the thing I also really hate is this continuous trend to either make ones with digital-only codes or not have the game at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, you said earlier about I think it was Fallout 4, waiting for the Game of the Year edition, and I think that plays a lot, too, into, well, I'm not going to pay full price because I know that in a year or a few months or whatever they're going to come out with the full edition. So why would I spend $60 now and then another 20 or 30 or however much later? And I think, like you're talking about price drops and everything, I think that hurts, sales too, because they know they're not getting the full game.
yeah. And I'm sure that's stuff they probably could sell, but you also have to think on the other way, they also take advantage of people who want complete versions. I mean, like with Bloodborne or Dark Souls, I repurchased the game again because I wanted a complete version that had the DLC with the game. And there is a collective of people who do. I mean, even people buying limited one games. Some of the people already own some of those indie games on Humble Bundle or Steam and things already in other forms, but wanted a physical version. Mm-hmm. Or the indie box. I mean, realistically, half my indie box copies that I have, I technically actually already owned.
Yeah, and you're talking about buying games multiple times. The Dishonored game, I bought that when it first came out. I bought the original, and at that time I did not have an internet connection, so I couldn't get the DLC. So I had to buy, if I wanted to play it because I really love that game, I had to buy the Game of the Year edition, which I happily did. I didn't buy it for full price, of course. I bought it when it dropped for $40.
Yeah.
But I bought the original game for full price. I bought the Game of the Year edition for $40. Ah, shit. Sorry. And then when they remastered it for PlayStation 4, I bought it again for PlayStation 4. I've bought that game 3 times, but I don't have a problem with it because it's an awesome game and I really enjoy it. And I think that's... There is an extent to where people would say, why are you buying this? You already have 2 other copies of it. But to me, it's, vote with your wallet, speak with your wallet. If you see like the microtransactions, if they bother you that much, then speak out, because if we boycott a game or whatever to the point where, yes, get rid of these microtransactions or we're not going to buy it, then hopefully people will see that. Whereas like I have no problem buying Dishonored a bunch of times because I like that. I hope they make, obviously now they are making a second one, but I hope they continue in the vein of those type of games. So you definitely speak with your wallet as far as that's concerned. But again, none of the, except the first one, I didn't buy any of them at full price when they came out, because I think people realize that if they do wait, it's going to be
But you
so
see,
much cheaper.
Usually when they do that, though, usually the new version is the brand new price. Like, I mean, you had the new Elder Scrolls edition for the online game. It's full price. The BioShock collection's full price, but you're merely getting multiple games in that.
Yeah.
A lot of times, they usually do those full price when they do those Game of the Year editions. I mean, what is that one game where the newest one's a Primal thing? Far Cry. Far Cry before Primal, it's number 4, ain't it? I think it's 4.
No, Far Cry 4. Oh, yeah, before Primal is 4, yeah.
Yeah. They had an edition with all the DLC on that. That was $59.99. So usually and this is just a me thing, if I had bought the game in its previous iteration, I wait for a price drop on the bigger collection of all the DLC. If it's the first time buying it, I usually don't mind paying full price for it because I didn't support the first time. And the few times I made an exception for that were basically Bloodborne and Dark Souls, because I had to import PAL versions of those because we didn't get physical versions with the DLC of those two, so that costed a little extra for those.
Now I can see, like, if you're going to have a game, like a Game of the Year edition for something, I can see that being full price. But if you're going to have, like, the new Skyrim remaster, it's the same game. It's the same thing. Yes, it's got all the DLC, but there's nothing different about it. It just looks better, and that's $60. I don't agree with that. If you're going to come out with a game,
especially since they already had a Game of the Year version with the DLC anyway on previous gens anyway.
Exactly. I don't think that a graphical upgrade is worth full price. Is it a good game? Yeah, it's a good game. Am I probably going to buy the remastered? Yeah, I'll probably buy it, but not for $60.
And you see, that was probably the smaller thing with the BioShock. At least with that, you're getting more than one game. And Capcom, when you think about it, is doing exactly what you want. I mean, they have Dead Rising 1, 2 off the record, and Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 all came out for $19.99 each.
Yeah.
I've heard different criticism when it comes to the Dead Rising ones.
And I did buy the BioShock collection because I think BioShock Infinite is a really, really good game.
You ever look into, like, the behind the scenes with that game, though?
No, I haven't.
I actually watched a video that talked about a lot of the concepts. There's a lot of interesting concepts they scrapped for that game that I think would have made it really interesting. And it actually kind of makes me feel like I might actually hate the game more because of it.
How can you hate this game at all?
I don't know. Just some of the concepts, like apparently there was, and it's in the game, but you never actually have some final confrontation with it in the game. Apparently, it was originally going to be the final confrontation and have a bigger role in the game, and it was apparently also going to be capable of kidnapping your sidekick at multiple points in the game, and you could either cause it not to even kidnap it if you were really good, or be forced to go and save her because he sucked. I can't remember what it was called. It's something you don't apparently run into very often in the final product, but apparently it had a much bigger role. And apparently there's a lot of creepy, scrapped enemies, too, that were being considered, like, I was told to go look at, like, the artwork for the game and stuff, could find a lot interesting about that. And there was a lot of stuff that sounded like interesting concepts that they sadly scrapped. And also, you do know the company that made it also actually went defunct, right?
Sure.
But yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it, too.
I really like it, and I've actually, I mean, the original BioShock was really good. The second one was okay, and then I think Infinite was probably the best out of all three games, in my opinion. The first one was a little bit more open, and I've heard a lot of people criticize the Infinite for being
linear. Yeah, I was going to actually bring that up when you were talking about them, because I always hear a confliction between the first BioShock and Infinite, because a lot of people say Infinite has a really interesting story and everything, but it's very linear, while the other one's more open, but the story's a lot more subtle.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to have an open world to have a good story. So I think they're really two different criticisms. Yes, it's more linear, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. Like, actually, I'm actually playing Infinite right now. I'm lost. I can't figure out where the hell my next objective is, and you can actually backtrack a good ways. It's linear, but it's not as linear as people think. I think the people who are saying it's linear is really because they have that Call of Duty mindset. They have that, checkpoint mindset. Go here, go there, go here, go there. There's a bunch of spots in the game where you don't have to backtrack, but if you do, you'll be rewarded, and you'll get a whole bunch of gear and upgrades and stuff that you wouldn't have found normally, because you have to go forward in the game to get, like, let's say, the key to a chest and then backtrack, or find, you'll get a clue about a specific item somewhere that you have to go back and find. So while it's linear to the point of main story objectives, it's not as linear as everybody says it is.
Well, I'd love to comment on it, but I'd have to play them.
I got a bit the same problem. I heard so many people say good stuff about BioShock, right? But I watched some videos, but I don't know. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a game that I'm gonna enjoy. It looks so much like a first-person shooter, but maybe it isn't. But yeah, don't know.
It is. There's a lot of shooting elements in it. If you're talking about the first one, or just the franchise in general, I think certain games, like the BioShock 1, was a lot more clunky because of the switching aspect. You had to switch between whatever powers and pistols that you had, or firearms that you had, whereas the second one you could do both at the same time. So as far as like a shooter game, the first one was, I want to say, less of a shooter game, but that's not really true. I think the only reason it was less of a shooter was because of a clunky mechanic. That was kind of an accident. But it is a shooter game. It's a shooter, and I want to call it an RPG, but it's not even really an RPG. but there are certain aspects of where you get powers, and you can make them powers stronger and choose between which ones to get or which ones to upgrade.
I heard they had some inspiration from the older System Shock games, and so I'm still like, yeah, maybe it's a game I can enjoy, but I'm just not sure.
And one thing I noticed, taking a giant step back to like half an hour ago, we were talking about Deus Ex. The original Deus Ex, you had points that you could upgrade abilities, your pistols, your lockpicking, your swimming. None of the other Deus Ex games had that. And I kind of think that, like, maybe not so much System Shock, but definitely the BioShock games, they kind of degraded as they went through as far as turning more into a shooter game with each one. Whereas BioShock Infinite is an amazing game, but it's a lot more of a shooter than the original one was. They stripped away a lot of the choices, a lot of the different RPG-ish elements that it had.
Yeah, that kind of goes into what I'm saying, like, they just feels like they keep trying to dumb down the games to reach a broader audience instead of catering more towards the audience that, well, made them popular to begin with.
Right. You know, you've said for a long time, you know, games are Mega Man hard. I like games that are Mega Man hard because it's not hard just to be hard. It's hard to make you think. You know, it's
I like it when the game gives you a lot of freedom to learn without holding your hand. Like stuff like Dark Souls and Dead Rising give you a lot of tools and environment to learn how the game works and let you master it. It doesn't hand you an instruction manual and tell you what you need to do. It gives you the tools to let you learn what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And while I suck horribly at Mega Man is a very cool concept to that kind of idea where it introduces elements to you and then starts combining them and makes it a difficult scenario for you. So, I mean, Mega Man does have a lot of inspiration in that kind of line of thinking, but I do suck horribly, way horribly.
I just got the Legacy collection for the 3DS, and I don't know, I haven't played the original Mega Man in forever, but it seems like Mega Man 1 on the Legacy Edition lags and frame rate really suffers. And Mega Man, like I played Mega Man 2 and it has none of the frame rate issues, so I wonder if it's just the game that's actually lagging and stuttering, or if they're trying to be so true to the original 8-bit Mega Man that they put in those frame rate drops.
Well, I don't know about the 3DS version, but I could have swore I read with the PS4 version that you couldn't abuse the classic NES tricks where you could use lag and such to your advantage. And also, I think they took out the Electric Man trick thing, too, in the Legacy collection, I think I read.
See, this is how long it's been since I've played it. I don't remember.
The Electric Man, the Electric Man glitch was every time you pause the game, it re-registered the damage when a target's being hit by it. So you could spam it over and over again, re-registering the damage from Electric Man's gun. Obviously, the lag thing is something that varies from game to game. I always thought one of the best examples of using the NES's lag between having too many sprites on screen was probably the final boss to Master Blaster being one of the best examples of abusing that versus playing like an emulated version where it's running smoothly and you can't take advantage of that slowdown to avoid everything that's happening in that fight. So I don't know about the 3DS version. It's, of course, completely different software compared to the PS4 and Xbox One, so that could be something that's just the 3DS version. But I messed with it a little. Yeah, just like, I kind of wonder why I even got this, because I'm just sucking.